Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video today we're going to be discussing Elden Ring, why you should play Elden Ring, and why Elden Ring is such a good game currently. With those goals and objectives in mind, let's go ahead and get into this video. First off, I'm going to go ahead and point out that modern gaming as it currently stands kind of sucks, and there's not a whole lot of games that are new, fresh, and complete at launch that tell a compelling story, that feel finished and feel like it's actually worth your money. So many games nowadays, such as Halo Infinite for example, launched completely incomplete and leaving the game feeling very unfinished and not worth the price tag that it was needing at launch. This would then lead to many gamers such as myself thinking that we were only going to be getting incomplete games and products from this point on, and that there was really nothing that could really change that. That is until Elden Ring decided to release. Elden Ring on release was really a special occasion for me and many others in the gaming community because it really showed that complete games were truly still possible, and not that the game was only just complete, but the game was also nearly a masterpiece. Elden Ring in a lot of ways gave me hope for the current gaming landscape and gives me a lot of hope going into picking out new games in the future that are single player. There has been a very few select single player games that have gotten me to just sit down and play for hours and hours at a time, and this game really did that for me. I played this game so much when it came out for like that first month and a half, and wow, this game was really awesome, and I really recommend that everyone who is watching this video to give Elden Ring a shot. Let's go ahead and talk about the map of Elden Ring. First off, let me say, wow, this map is huge, and let me say it is also gorgeous. There are so many points where the developers specifically curated you coming out of a forest or a castle or something like that, where they show you this marvelous looking sky piece, and it just looks so awesome. And there's so many great moments like that, and you'll just be walking through and you feel it, and you feel like, wow, they really put a lot of work into making sure that this map looks amazing. Another part of the map, the design that I actually really enjoyed, but also kind of disliked at a time, was the lifts and trying to get around the lifts and things like that. But what I didn't really realize is that instead of making it like a quest logbook or something like that, they decided to have you go out into the actual Elden Ring community and interact with YouTube videos or Reddit forums or stuff like that to try to figure out where it was. And it made it a lot more interactive and kind of curates the community a lot more and makes everyone feel a lot more connected because we're all working towards the same goals and trying to help people out and stuff like that. It also gives off the vibe of a Snorlax blocking your route in Pokemon Red and Blue and stuff like that, and that's something I kind of enjoy, a little bit of problem solving to get around and advance to the next area. Another thing I'd like to also mention about the map design is the areas of the map. There's like a swamp and a alpine snowy area. There's also this blood-ridden desert, and it's so cool. There's so much contrast between the areas, and there's like this whole blood layer, and it is so awesome. It is so nice to be able to go from all these different places, and it really feels like you're traveling around a world and not just traveling around one biome. Let me also just re-emphasize, this game is beautiful, and it even runs well on my PC, and my PC is not a high-end gaming PC by any means. And there were just points where I just wanted to stop and look around at the areas, whether it be the bottom of the map and the underground area, we're just looking around these caves with the floaty lights and stuff like that, or if you're in the scorched desert and you're just looking around, there's so many points where you're just like, wow, this game is so beautiful. Now, before I gush about the game looking and feeling really good anymore, we're going to go ahead and talk about enemy design and bosses. I thought all the enemies were handled with such love and care to where they all feel unique and they all have their own fighting styles and things like that, and I really loved that. And as the game got further in, you'd see similar enemies that were buffed up in either health or maybe one or two different fighting interactions and things like that, and that's something I really enjoyed. I get that they had to reuse some assets to make the open world truly feel full, but you know, it wasn't that big of a deal for me that I was having to fight one or two similar enemies in the later half of the game. Also thought that the bosses were so sick, and each one of them were just so cool, and they're fleshed out in a really interesting way, where you start off with Morgott, and you know, you go into the later half of the game fighting Godfrey and Godric and you know, some of the other cool bosses. The only bosses I actually really had an issue with was literally the last boss of the game, Radagon and the Elden Beast. Those guys were a total pain in the ass, and I did not like fighting. Other than that, I loved fighting every single boss. Even getting my ass kicked was fun. And again, when you were having issues with bosses, you go to the community to find answers, which generates so much more community interaction and so much more fun within the community. Now we're also going to go ahead and talk about gameplay real quick. The gameplay is very FromSoft. It's very smooth. It's fun. It's rewarding. It's a little dodgy and it's a little difficult to counter, but it should be like that. I think it may be a little bit easier and that could have been, you know, a little better. But other than that, I mean, this game's fun. It's very challenging. It's going to make you want to slam your desk at some points, but that's a good thing, and that makes the game a lot more fun in my opinion. And if you're worried about the difficulty of this game, don't worry about the difficulty. Get into the game, figure out the mechanics, and then you can always consult the community and get help for bosses or places where you're stuck. The next point I want to go ahead and talk about is the story. Now, the story of Elden Ring is pretty damn confusing, I won't lie to you. I still don't really fully understand what the story is about, and this is probably one of the weaker parts of the game in my opinion, for at least a casual player who's not interacting with the community or anything like that. But if you do decide to go ahead and go to TikTok or YouTube or Reddit for answers and trying to fill in those blanks that the game kind of leaves as a mystery, the game all starts to kind of come together and really has a compelling story. But you do need to interact with the community, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing for those who are just trying to have a story in the game only. Last point I would like to go ahead and talk about is just overall community interaction. And I will say, when Elden Ring launched and was really one of the most popular games for like the first 2 to 3 months, this game was truly something special to be in the community for, and it is something that I will truly cherish in my gaming memories. And this is why this game is definitely in my top 5 favorite games of all time, mostly because there was so much genuine community interaction and so many people trying to help each other out. And this time was really special for me playing video games, and this really gave me hope that there is still fun, genuine gaming moments out there that I will be able to have. And the last thing I want to go to note with community interaction is thank you to all the creators out there who really made the first couple months of Elden Ring's release so special. You guys are really thanked and make videos like this possible in the future. But yeah, that is all I've got for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, make sure you do like and make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more gaming content in the future. That is all I got for this video, guys. Stay hydrated. We will see you in the next video. Peace out, boys.